Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another mock draft. It's the Penultimate Mock Drafts Wednesday, the third of this four-part Mock Draft Wednesday series. The draft is only 8 days away. I actually can't contain my excitement. But for now, this is the best we got, making our own little mock drafts. One, Caleb Williams, it's consensus. No need to talk about it anymore, I think. It's just weird how it hasn't come out yet. I feel like at this point, only 8 days away from the draft, we should have a report that says Caleb Williams is the number one draft pick, but we haven't yet. Is it interesting? Maybe. Is it nothing? Probably. I'm going to have Washington draft Drake May here. No, Jaden Daniels. I want them to draft Drake May. I think they should draft Drake May. Maybe not want, because I think Drake May's a better player. I'm a Giants fan. Don't want the better player going in the division, whatever. But if I'm the Commanders, I'm drafting Drake May. But with the rumors of what Ron Rivera said at the Senior Bowl or at LSU's Pro Day, and, the rumor that came out 10 days ago that it's the pick, I have to do it because I would rather be right and draft Jaden Daniels and stick to my own views of Drake May. And speaking of Drake May, he's definitely the pick for me at 3. I don't think he falls past 3. I really love Drake May. He's like my favorite quarterback prospect of all time. Is it part of his game? Yes. If it's part of he just gets so much hate and I like defending him, yep. But if he's there at 3, there's no way New England trades down or drafts J.J. McCarthy. And for the Cardinals, I usually have them trading down so the Vikings can trade up and get J.J. McCarthy. In this situation, I just think the price is too steep. And, if the Vikings wanted to make the trade with the Cardinals, I feel like they could have done it already because once you're in the top 4, you're getting one of the 4 quarterbacks and there's no one to stop you. I think the price is too steep with 3 first-round picks, even though they did trade for 4 first-round picks. And I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is just way too tempting to trade away from. So I'm going to have him there. I'm going to have the Chargers trade down. That's such a trade spot. We're going to have Minnesota and the Los Angeles Chargers. We'll go 123. I don't care about the packages. Is this what the package is going to be in real life? Probably not. But who cares? I just want the Chargers to have 11 and 23. The Vikings have 5 to draft J.J. McCarthy, who goes into a great situation in Minnesota. You thought he had a good situation. Michigan is not as good compared to college football and the NFL, but you got the number 1 wide receiver in the league. You got a great number 2 in Jordan Addison, with a great rookie year. T.J. Hawkins is the top 5 tight end. You have an established O-line with 2 good tackles in Darisaw O'Neal. He's not going to be a third-round pick. Maybe he could. You never know. Levis fell last year, but he's not going to be there in the second or third round. I don't think he falls past 6 at least. He could, though. He could. Giants, Neighbors is off the field situation is enough for me to say he's not going to be the pick there because Neighbors, Adunsay, and Harrison are all S tier wide receivers. One of them messes up, which Neighbors did. He can fall past the other 2 in the situation he is. Tackle is the biggest need for the Titans, and Joe Alt's the best one. It's a match made in heaven. If Alt's there, the Titans have to pick him, or else, honestly, it's a bad pick. They don't need receiver that much. No, Neighbors is definitely tempting. I don't want to say Neighbors is a bad pick, but it should be all. They just gave Calvin Ridley a bag, and they already have DeAndre Hopkins. Like Joe Alt to the Titans, I always draft Dallas Turner to the Atlanta Falcons, and if they don't trade down, which I think is possible, very, very possible, especially with the Chargers lurking, they trade up for their tackle or something. Whoever else wants to trade up for whatever reason they want to trade up. Makes sense. But Dallas Turner, super athlete, fits really well in their 3-4. Probably going to be the first defender off the board as well. And I feel like it's just a really good match. Now, the Bears don't need receiver, but I am going to draft Malik Neighbors here. Because if he falls to 9, even with his off-the-field concerns, that's really good. And I know the big city issue, Chicago, big city, but at 9, you may just have to say, fuck it, and take him. Jets, I don't know whether to take Fuaga or Bowers. I think they both go in these 2 spots. Whoever doesn't get drafted by the Jets goes to the Chargers. I'm going to actually draft Bowers here because you can use him in so many ways. In screens, as a blocker, and always a tight end. Of course, you can use him as a wide receiver and a blocker. But his with his run after catch ability, which is he may go into the league with the best run after catch ability out of any tight end immediately, which is kind of crazy. Is it crazy? Yeah, actually, it's not true, but it's his run after catch ability is like no tight end ever. So you have a lot you could do with Bowers, and he just unlocks the offense so much more. And I said I would draft Fuaga if they did draft Bowers or vice versa. Fuaga fits so well with what Jim Harbaugh wants to do. He can play tackle and guard. He may play guard. He probably play guard for immediately plug and play guard for the Chargers. He's just such a big maul in a run game. Harbaugh does running game a lot. That wasn't really good English, but still, just a really, really good fit for the Chargers. And you don't even have to trade back up for him, which I think is a likely option for the Chargers to go trade from 5 to 11, trade up to like 8, and draft your guy. I feel like that could get more popular in the NFL after the masterclass of the Cardinals trading down from 3 to 12, and then back up to 6 to get Paris Johnson. You get a ton of draft capital, and you get the guy you want. Denver, I have all Denver. I've always drafted like Byron Murphy. Well, it's not like it's always been drafted Byron Murphy. I'm gonna switch it up and give them Jared Verse. They just need help everywhere on the defensive line and at corner. It can be one of the top corners. It can be Byron Murphy, Jared Verse, Latu. I'm gonna go Verse here. Raiders need tackle like there was no tomorrow. Gonna give them the Olu Fashanu, not Fashanu, Fashanu. Best pure pass blocking tackle in the draft. Could have been a top 5 pick last year. Comes back. Gonna fall to 13 here. New Orleans, we're gonna give a tackle as well. I'm going to give them the high upside of J.C. Latham here. With Ryan Ramczyk knee problem, they may need both tackle spots, but they still need a tackle nevertheless. Corner for the Colts is going to be Quinion Mitchell. I feel like if he's there, he's a must-take no matter who's on the board, unless it's maybe Brock Bowers. Super freak athlete. They need corner so bad. And the Eagles actually were reported this week trying to trade up ahead of the Colts, so I think that's a little indicator the Colts really do like Quinion Mitchell a lot. Troy Fautanu is just a really perfect fit in Seattle. He'll play guard for them for sure with Cross and Abraham Lucas. Seattle, nice little connection there as well. Jaguars are getting Terry and Arnold in my mock. They lost Darius Williams. They need corner. Terry Arnold is the best pure corner in the draft, technically skilled-wise. Didn't run the greatest, didn't test the greatest, but as a pure corner, he is the best in the class. Bengals need... tackle's not the biggest need for them. Brian Thomas, definitely an option here, but it doesn't look like T. Higgins is going to get traded, so the guy I said originally I messed up. We're going to go Byron Murphy and beef up the interior of that defensive line. After losing DJ Reader, they do need guys. Maybe guys with more pass rush upside, because in that situation you would draft Johnny Newton. Maybe he's a better fit here, but I just like Byron Murphy more, and he doesn't have the injury concerns Newton has. Rams, we're going to give Latu, if healthy, is the best edge rusher in this class, and his medicals seem to be clearing up and looking better a lot more. Those who don't know, he had to medically retire because of a heart issue at Washington, comes back, transferred to UCLA, and is an absolute monster this year. Still, medical's a concern. Probably goes in that Jalen Phillips range. He also had to medically retire him for concussions. He ended up going, I think, at pick 19, actually, or pick 17, something like that. Could see him in a similar range to Phillips. And with Brian Thomas Jr. still on the board, I don't think the Steelers really need wide receiver as much as mock draft database says, but I think interior and anywhere on the offensive line is better. But if he's there, you got to get him. 6'2", 200 pounds, flies down the field, led FBS in touchdowns. Absolute steal at pick 20, but it's just kind of how my board fell. That's why he's falling this far. I don't think he will, but interior offensive line after losing Robert Hunt to the Panthers is a need. Jackson Powers-Johnson, best interior offensive lineman in the class, just kick him to, or pure interior offensive lineman in the class. Fautanu and Fuaga could kick the guard. But Powers-Johnson, you would play guard for them. Eagles, they don't usually draft corner, but with Nate Wiggins on the board, it's not a surprise he's not on the board. He's probably going to end up being picked in the 20s, or a surprise he is on the board. Super athlete, Eagles need corner. There's really no edge rushers or tackles I would probably take for them. So we'll go Nate Wiggins here. Chargers, wide receiver, such a big need. You didn't draft one. at 5. You didn't draft one at 11. You're going to draft one here at 23. I love Adonai Mitchell so much. 6'2", 200 pounds, 4.35, 40-inch vertical. Insane numbers. Can easily go up and get the ball. Pretty good route runner, too, especially for his size and for what he did at Texas. Or what his main role in is at Texas with as a jump ball receiver. And at Georgia, he did that mainly, too. But it's just a big effort concern is really why he's in the 20s and not in the teens. Dallas needs tackle. They need wide receiver. But with Xavier or Adonai Mitchell just going one pick before them, we're going to give them Marius Mims. You just lost Tyrone Smith to the Jets. And, you know, Mims, when he played, is a top 10 pick. He played only 8 games, though. Was that because he started behind Broderick Jones or didn't start behind Broderick Jones? He was behind Broderick Jones. Yeah. Because of injuries. More, yeah. But even in those 8 games, he's really, really polished at tackle. You don't really see a guy playing that few games and this polished and this mature, especially at a position like offensive line. And he's a really good athlete, and he's humongous. So much to love and so much to hate about Amarius Mims. But if he ends up becoming what he could be at 24, that's the steal of the draft. Packers, I really, really like Darius Robinson's fit for the Packers. But with Cooper DeJean on the board, he is a better player. He is just as good as a fit. Gonna play corner, safety, super freak athlete, especially as a returner. Not super freak, but a super athlete, especially as a returner. And as a white corner, let's just be honest. Buccaneers need a lot. They need a lot. But edge is their number one need. I'm going to take Chop Robinson. Super versatile. Could play 3-4. Could play 4-3 pretty seamlessly. And a really good athlete as well. A lot of potential there. And the Buccaneers need a lot. But edge rusher is their number one need. Cardinals. Johnny Newton still on the board. Let's pick him. Could be a top 15 player in this class if he stays healthy. The injury concerns aren't too bad, but they're bad enough that he is probably going to fall. Provides a lot of pass rushing upside. They need help on the defensive line really badly. Bills, it has to be a wide receiver, right? I honestly don't love Ladd McConkey, but I'm pretty sure at this point with the Bills and the Chiefs and with all these wide receivers, 5 wide receivers going ahead of them, that he ended up slipping in the first round to one of these 2 teams. And I don't hate Ladd McConkey. I don't love Ladd McConkey, especially as a first round pick. He's more like a late second to me, or not late second, early second to me. But he can get open better than a lot of people, and that's so important, and that's his best trait. And the Bills just need a guy at wide receiver. You cannot have Curtis Samuel as your number 1 receiver. No offense to Curtis Samuel, especially for what the Bills want to achieve. Corner is the biggest need by far. Do I want to draft Ennis Rakestraw? I really do like Ennis Rakestraw, but I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is just a little better. And Cam Sutton got arrested. I'm pretty sure Cam Sutton's not with the team for some reason. I'm pretty sure it's because he got arrested for something. I don't remember what it is. They already needed corner before that. It was already their biggest need before losing their best corner. So now they need a new corner. Baltimore and Tyler Guyton is also a really good fit that I love. I usually draft Tyler Guyton a little earlier, but because Dallas at that point needs tackle, and he's the best tackle on the board. This situation, Dallas drafts Mims, so Guyton falls to Baltimore. Ronnie Stanley's never healthy. They still need a tackle outside without Ronnie Stanley's health problems, but gonna need a guy who you're gonna be able to just plug and play tackle whenever you need, and that's what Tyler Guyton is gonna be for them. I just realized never have Graham Barton falling this low. Never have Graham Barton on the board, and I'm gonna leave him on the board to draft Kingsley Suamataia because I want more of a pure tackle for San Francisco, and he has so much high upside. The upside is crazy, but it's a low floor too. True boomer bust type player. Could sneak into the first round, and in this situation, I'm going to put him in the first round. I do like him as a first round pick. I do definitely think he should be a first round pick. Chiefs also need wide receiver. Xavier Worthy is an option for sure. Same with Keon Coleman. I'm gonna go Troy Franklin here. After you need receiver anyway, and then Rasheed Rice does what he does, and now you have like no one at receiver. So I think whether it's at 32 or trading up, especially like if this is a situation where Brian Thomas Jr. is available at 20, can be sure the Chiefs are trying to call up to trade up for a guy like that, or trade up for a guy like Ryan or what is his name, Adonai Mitchell. Here I'm only doing one trade, and that's the Vikings. So I'm gonna have the Chiefs drafting Troy Franklin, and that'll do it for mock draft number 3. For next week, final mock draft, my final predictions, which is honestly crazy to think about. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all later.